Welcome to defenseguru.co.in. From the behalf of Team Defense Guru, I welcome you to this second episode in the series of interview talks with the recommended candidates and successful candidates in the merit list who have made it to the top of that list. Today, I have Manik Turan with me, who has secured All India 4 rank, and we'll be going through his experiences, through his preparation, whatever apprehension he had earlier, whatever tips he has for others, and what are his future plans again. For now, my name is Himanshu Sharma, as you know, and I'm twice recommended from FCAT and TGC 133. And right now, I'm contributing and sharing my experience with defenseguru.co.in in the form of R&D. Now let's begin with the questions from Tarun. So firstly, how are you, Tarun? How are you doing these days?
I'm doing well, sir. What about you, sir?
I'm also doing extremely good, because these days, after getting recommended, it's just a wait of joining the academy, of the merit list that has been waited. So you were lately informed about your merit list, and the success couldn't be better in the form of an All India rank 4, isn't it?
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. But as I said, there is always a scope of improvement. And so, sir, if I would have done a bit better, I could have even achieved a higher rank. But as we all know that we should be satisfied with what we have. So I think I'm quite satisfied that all my hard work has paid off well. So no doubt about that, sir.
Definitely, there's no second word to that. That it has paid off well, because I have seen and gone through the merit list, and I've seen that you have scored both well in your written and your interview as well. So he is one of among the top scorers also in the interview also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, naturally, that's why you are All India rank 4. So I'll be chronologically increasing and discussing about whatever things were there regarding your preparation, your experiences. So starting with the experience, I would like you to compare what apprehensions you had before the interview. How did it change after recommendations? And did you think that you will come so far that you will get an All India rank 4?
Sir, about my apprehension about the SSB interview, sir, as everyone is aware that I have been recommended in the first attempt. It was my first attempt, so I didn't have much of an apprehension about SSB, because this is the first time I was facing such kind of an interview. So there was no, actually it was a pretty new experience, and to be honest, initially I was a bit nervous in the first 2 days, but as we move ahead,
All of us have.
as we move ahead, all the people who have come from different places, we get to know each other, and we spend so much time with each other that we hardly think about the SSB which is going on. So that is natural. After recommendations, so that is I don't need to explain, that is a feeling which cannot be compared. So absolutely, sir, the whole time I was doing my documentation, I was just happy I was just happy for myself, I was happy for my parents, and definitely my school. So that was it, sir.
All right, that's great. So, in detailed manner, you have explained everything. So, since you have mentioned that was first attempt, so and also I have read it that this is the time that you have given your board examinations after your recommendation, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, preparing everything at once, the written examination, scoring well in that, preparing for a SSB, preparing for your board, because again that is very important. How do you manage all the things together?
So till the time the ND written examination was going on, was there in front of me, I was only focused about my ND writtens, because I had about an year after that to prepare for boards. So I actually didn't give a thought about my boards preparation. I was just focusing on my ND writtens preparation. After the ND writtens were done in September of 2020, after that I tried to cover up my board syllabus, and then the SSB came. So just before around 2 weeks, I came to know about my center and my date. So that time, those 10 days, I just dedicated to organizing what I had learned in the past 5 years in RIMC. So that was that. After the SSB I had around 2 to 3 months to cover up for my boards examination, so I did that in that much time.
We'll come back to the organizing, the things that you've done in your RIMC. But before that, how did you prepare for written? What are your tips and what is the strategy to ace the written examination? What is your specific strategy and what advices you have for those who are preparing it?
So some people think that NDA examination is a difficult examination. I think that they feel that it is difficult because somewhere in the past they have not focused very much, or they have not given so much consideration to their studies. If we see, NDA examination is not difficult if we have a proper planning and if we have a proper strategy about it.
What was
So
your strategy?
my strategy was that since NDA examination comprises mainly of 11th and 12th standard, so I had to do my 11th properly and I had to do my 12th properly. So when I was in 11th standard, I made sure that the physics, chemistry, and maths, that was my stream. So I made sure that I, uh, apart from doing well in my class, in my examination for that particular class, I have to also make sure that that preparation I do not have to repeat when I have to prepare for ND examination. So I preserved those notes, I kept revising them, and when around 6 months were left, I went on with my further syllabus of 12th standard. So that burden was not there because I was pretty confident that I have studied once the syllabus of 11th standard. Now, if I forget,
I'm getting a good idea about you that you are being punctual and that you are very disciplined. While taking your classes, also you are attentive. You took notes, and that is why you were able to revise it. You are able to clear your concept. That is why you are able to polish them and use them in your examination, right? And
because
yeah, carry on.
because if I don't do that in my classes, sir, I'll have to do so much work in so less time later. So I didn't want to leave anything to that. I just made sure that whatever time I have right now, so I have to utilize it right now. Why should I leave the thing which I can do right now for later, for causing much trouble? So that is why I did that before only.
Yeah. That is great. And now, since you have mentioned your preparations for SSB, after those things, after your written examination had commenced, so you said that you practiced what you have done in your RIMC before. I also get the same idea that SSB is not a day-to-day process. It's not a day, it's a last day process. It is a day-to-day process in which our everyday involvement is involved. So whatever we are being today, whatever practices, whatever routine that we have today, that reflects in the SSB, isn't it? So what was your routine in the terms of preparation that has helped you, and what were the things you have done specifically for the SSB?
Sir, in the last 10 days, apart from the psychological tests, I did not practice much. And psychological tests also, I practiced around 10 of the thematic perception tests and not many words. So actually, sir, the thing is, in the last 10 days, I just practiced writing, that I'm able to complete it in that particular time. But what I was writing, that was a result of the things which I did in the past 5 years. So basically, we see that whatever stories we are made to write during SSB, it is based on our daily life. If a person has done that well, he'll be able to write that well, and his personality, the assessor will have a positive impact for from his that what he has written. So if I'm not punctual in the last 5 years, I will not be able to I will not be able to be punctual during my 5 days at SSB. If I have not helped my friends in the last 5 years, I will not be able to help them during SSB. If I have not spoken in the last 5 years, I will not be able to speak during my group discussion or group planning exercise.
Very well pointed out, Tarun. Very well pointed out. It's very crucial, and I believe that everyone will believe with this that it won't happen at the 11th hour. We have to plan it. We have to start early. And as you said, you were practicing good habits before your SSB also, before your written. During written, you focused on your written. Again, you revised those things. You polished them. Went ahead with your written, then polished your SSB traits, and then went to the SSB with a triumph. now. So I don't have words to describe that. What good vibes I'm getting from you, and what everyone will be getting from you after watching this interview. Now let's come to the interview. I believe that however well prepared we are, there is a thing of pressure on us. How did you tackle with that pressure during the SSB?
Sir, if a person undergoes these pressurizing situations daily, he will know how to overcome that pressure. So pressure is of different types. A person playing for his team has pressure. For the people who is he playing for? Now I'll just give an example. Suppose I'm playing an intersection competition for my section. So I have that pressure. I am representing those people who are there in my section. So if I'm able to cope with that pressure, and if I'm able to perform well, definitely I'll be able to cope with the pressure which I am undergoing while giving my interview. So again, sir, it is about doing it before. It won't happen at the 11th hour. It won't happen that okay, I'm going for interview. I just think right now that I won't that I have to face the pressure. It won't happen like that. We have to face the difficult situations before. So I think that we all face difficult situations in our daily life. How big or small doesn't matter. If we are able to come out of those situations, then definitely we'll be coming out of that situation of which is so-called interview in
Exactly.
SSB.
If we run away from tough situations right now, how am I expecting that during that time we'll be able to go through them? Right, isn't it? That's what you are saying. So, tell me that since you are a fresher, many times you would have interacted with those who are your seniors, with those who have a lot of experience, and even you have went on the internet also, and there's a lot of gyan that is available. So, how did you decide that what things to keep to yourself and what things to filter out?
Sir, that happens by interacting with the people who have that experience. So many of our seniors have given SSB, many of them have cleared. So that is the best thing to, and they are our seniors. They will never tell us the wrong thing because we are from the same school. They obviously will want something good for us. So it's always best to ask our predecessors about what was their experience. And now, sir, I feel that everyone has different experiences. Everyone has faced different SSBs. Now we have to analyze what is good for ourselves. We have to take inputs, and based on what we think is good and what is bad, we have to filter out those things. So that is what I did.
Yes, and now follows my second question, which is we often see that after interacting, after having opinions of others, our opinions get naturally affected because we gain experience, isn't it? So, portraying ourselves in the SSB is very essential, it's quintessential. Okay, that is only the reason how the SSB assessors will get to know कि हम कौन हैं, isn't it? So, अपने आप को ओरिजिनल तरीके से आपने कैसे रिप्रेजेंट किया? How did you do that? How did you make it sure that it is only you that is specifically in psychology?
Definitely, sir. Sir, when we are preparing about psychological tests and we come across a picture that we are not able to write, so our natural reaction of any candidate or any aspirant is he'll ask some of his friend or he'll ask some of his senior that what he would write. So I think that if we take input from them and if we write that particular thing in SSB, that thing will contradict with something which we that thing will contradict with us because that is not our thought. So when I will be doing group task or when I will be giving my interview, so that will those two things will contradict, and then the GTO will have a doubt. So I think that definitely we can take suggestions, but the result should be ours. Otherwise, then there will be a contradiction and there will be a problem for us in the SSB.
Since we are talking about psychology, what would be your tips for preparation for psychology for those who are looking forward for a recommendation?
Sir, again, sir, that it is a time-consuming process. It will not happen just for 10 days of just by 10 days of practicing of psychological test. A person has, sir, that is why it is called psychological test. You have to prepare your mind. You have to shape your mind in such a way that you come out as a good personality. These tests are test bound because so that the whatever the first thought comes in an aspirant's mind, that is what he writes. If we make up our sentence and then we write, we will not be able to complete. So that is why these tests are to pressurize us so that we write our first thought, and that is how the assessor comes to know about the personality of the aspirant. So it is better to shape our personality before.
Yes, so we can say that practice is the key for every test and for psychology as well, because it is our individual test and we need to give our first responses, isn't it? And where does responses come from? It comes from our experiences. And what is experience made up of? It is made up of our practices, what we have encountered. So experience can be built up, isn't it, using practice? So, and if we practice on ourselves, take initiative and थोड़ा अपना दिमाग लगा लें, थोड़ा दूसरों से सजेशन थोड़ा सा ले लें, तो फिर we can come up with a balanced answer, isn't it? So, we had a talk about personality and psychology. Now, I would like to move to the very important aspect of the interview, which is the interview itself, the personal interview. How did you, what was your approach for preparation of the interview?
That my aim for the interview was that I should know everything about myself. I should know everything about my parents. I should know everything about my school. I should know about everything that I play and everything that I do, like all my co-curricular activities, because there's a PIQ form and the interviewer will ask from that only. And if I don't know about the things which I have done, and if I don't know about myself, then it shows a very not so good image in front of the interviewer. So, and I decided that I will only speak things which like I have done. I will not lie, because somewhere or the other, when we move ahead with the interviewer, we will say something that will contradict our past statement, and the interview will catch us that we are telling a lie. So that is a thing, to be just what you are and to present yourself as you are.
Since you just mentioned about PIQ, it is my integral preparation also, which I did. I made a PIQ in a form of my preparation. I made it sure that I thoroughly know my PIQ and I ratify it over and over again that whether I am not contradicting it anyway in the psychology, in the SD, and in the interview, various other places. What was your approach with PIQ?
Sir, I only wrote things which I did. There is a section of games, so all the games which I played in RIMC, I wrote about that. There is a section for extracurricular activities. So I had done 3 courses: paragliding, windsurfing, and mountaineering. So I wrote about them. And if I'm writing about my father, that he's a government teacher and my mother is a government teacher, I made sure that I know that what are their qualifications and where do they teach. So that is things. PIQ is everything about knowing about oneself. It is nothing more than that.
Your PIQ would have also mentioned that your father was a serving personnel and he has retired from Indian Army as a JCO. So you had a life and you have seen a life of what and life inside army is. When you were before the interview, before entering RIMC, what was your picture that the life of an officer is? What was that picture that drew you towards this?
As you just said, my father was JCO, and I actually did not live for a lot of time in the cantonment area, because I was very small at that time. My father got retired in 2009, and I was just born in 2003, sir. So I had not met any officer before that. So I had no idea about the life of an officer. It was about going to RIMC that it was fully a defense environment, and I came to know about the things about the defense forces and all. So
So you had a taste of both of them. Your father was retired from there, and then you had a taste at RIMC, and before that, you had a civilian life also. So that is a very balanced answer and a uh, very thoughtful of you of thinking so much, going into such an institution that would be helpful. What was the motivation of you for taking up defense forces so early? Naturally it would be your father, but they would ask you also that what do you want to do in life. And during the RIMC also, did you, what was there in the defense forces that you felt that yes, I'm doing this right, yes, I'm going in the right direction?
So when I gave the exam for RIMC, I did not know about the defense forces so much. It was just for exposing myself to competitive examination. It was just an academic exam. So since I had done well in my studies in my previous school, that was that was something that again I had to do well in my examination. So first two attempts I could not make it, but the final attempt I made it. It was after coming to RIMC that I liked the life of an officer. I liked the life of the defense personnel, because it is an institution where you make a lot of friends from where you come across people from all walks of life, different age, different areas. You get to learn a lot of things, and
It's
also
not
that
just a
pride of wearing a
lifestyle.
uniform is
It's not
completely
just
different.
a lifestyle. It's a way of life. There's so many
Definitely, sir.
things that are integral part of the defense forces, right?
Yes,
That you would have gone through. And so did I also. I also had the same picture in mind that you are telling, because everything is made up of those things: professionalism, sports, adventure, and opportunities,
definitely, sir.
respect, everything. So, last but not the least, how was the GTO?
GTO was I did not practice for GTO, sir. And as I said, the group discussion which is there, we already used to do it in RIMC, so that was not something new for me. So I just decided to do what I used to do. So that was that. About the group planning exercise, there are five problems which they will give us in an exercise. So again, we had done that in RIMC, managing things as a senior, as a junior. So prioritizing and all, we had done that already. So didn't face much of a problem there. The group tasks which are there, which we had to do with the ropes and the plank, that was completely new for me. That I had not done before. So I just applied my mind there and just held my aim was not to showcase myself as the best. It was to help we were a group. It was to contribute to the group in overcoming that obstacle.
You brought a very nice and important thing into the discussion, that is group. I saw that 18 of your friends from RIMC got recommended, and there were many of them who are your batchmates. So, what was special in this group, and what suggestions you would give to other groups who are preparing, for those who are not preparing individually also, to form a group, and what things should be there in a group to support each other, to push each other towards the success?
So you have to increase the bonding amongst our group.
Hmm.
Since I already told that I joined RMC in 8th standard, so we all of us have been together for the past 5 years, and we know in and out about everyone. So the thing is about like a person can come to know about himself by introspecting is one thing, and the second thing how he can improve his overall personality and character is taking inputs from the three most important people in our life, that is the teachers, the parents, and the friends. So we have to help each other. A person may be good in one thing but may not be so good in the other, whereas the other person is good in the other thing and not so good in the first one.
So
So
it's
helping each other is the key.
there in a group and help each other push. Take inputs. That is also very important, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think that we have covered most of the topics until now. Is there any special thing that happened in your interview? Any interesting thing? Any fun thing that happened in your interview that you would like to share with us?
Sir, that I just remember only one thing, that I did 59 out of 60 words in the word making test, whatever it is. So one word which I left was loafer, LOAFER. So I didn't know the meaning about that. So the interviewer asked me about my psych test. He asked me how many words did you do. So I replied that, sir, I had done 59 out of 60. He told, why did you leave the last one? Then I replied that, sir, I didn't know the meaning. So he told me to make sentence out there only, and still I didn't know the meaning. So I assumed the meaning as meaning from the Hindi word loafer, that is wanderer. So I just made a silly sentence, and he also laughed, and that was something which I remembered. Nothing much.
That was lovely talking with you. Such a valuable inputs you have given. Until now, we had discussed that what you did in the past, how was your experience at the SSB. Now that finally it's sure that you are going to the academy, NDA, what are your future plans from now? What are your aims from now? You would have planned that I would be doing there, I would be doing something this, that, also. So please share those.
I'll continue to take part in all the activities which I'm good at, sir. And I'll definitely try to take up new things which I'll be able to do out there, which are not available in RAMC, but are available there. So I just have to make sure that I keep doing well in my studies, and I want to pass all the tests which are there about for PT, drill, and swimming in the first attempt, because those people out there will have a lot of expectations from us, since we have already uh, gone through all these things, most of them. So I just want to make sure that I keep the name of my school high. And
That's great. That's wonderful. Acha, since we had a wonderful session here, do you have any word for those who are watching us right now at Defense Guru? Do you have any word that how that they could involve Defense Guru in their preparation? Since you have just been a part of our family.
first of all, sir, I would like to wish best of luck to all those people who are preparing for their examination. And I feel that platforms like this, who help the aspirants to achieve their goals, are they should take advantage of these platforms, because I can understand that every person has not that facility to be a part of Sainik schools, military schools, or RIMC. Many people are from civilian background. They don't have anyone from army, navy, or air force in their family. So it can be a bit difficult for them. But the platforms like this, they spread knowledge about the defense forces, and most importantly, they can prove a source of inspiration for these people. So
Moreover, you would be pleased to know that this platform, Defense Guru, is one of the largest platform for free defense education material and also for preparation materials regarding interviews, regarding written materials and all. So these contents are available for free and are so resourceful that, just like you mentioned, that even after not having exposure from various trained faculties at various military institutions, you can ace the exam, you can come forward. And I am also one of the examples of that. I have been through government colleges, but there was no touch of defense which I had in my education and in my nearby also. I had family members in family, but these portals were those who showed an example of candidates like me, like you, who shared their examples, and we learned from them. So, any final word from you? Closing remarks.
one thing is utilization of resources, sir. So I think that this is a resource for every aspirant. So he should take full use of it. That's it, sir.
All right. It was lovely interacting with you, Tarun. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, your future endeavors also, and how you prepared. We wish you luck from the defense community and the team Defense Guru. We wish you luck for the academy and for the service also. I would also luckily see you at the service. So until now, we'll take a leap. But before that, please do like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you. Have a nice day. We'll be back shortly with another video. Thank you.